If we leverage the good things we have going for us and we don't do some bad things, we could be right at the top of the heap in this country, right at the top. And yet we seem to be endeavoring to go to the middle. And that's unfortunate. Now, I do want to say something good about the city's efforts on crime reduction, because I've come to this podium in years past, and I've talked about improving Baltimore's, the greater Baltimore's tourism industry and tourism trade. And I said you had to get the murder rate under control in order to improve the image of the city. That has happened or is happening. We haven't arrived yet, but for the first time, I think the city should congratulate itself with some real progress in reducing the crime rate here. It's important. I want to take a second to talk about the gas tax. I know you're in favor of it. I felt like I was in bizarro world in Annapolis last week when the Maryland State Chamber of Commerce and the Greater Baltimore Committee were out on Lawyers Mall picketing and protesting for tax increases. It just didn't feel right. And yet I understand the reason that you do that is because you want transportation infrastructure. So do I. But if gas goes to $5 a gallon this summer, our citizens aren't going to be able to bear the freight. So while we're clamoring for that 15-cent increase in the gas tax and increasing the car registration fee and increasing the vehicle emissions inspection fee and increasing the car titling tax, we ought to think twice about how hard it is to fill your gas tank up when you're putting $5 a gallon up to do it. We already pay 23.5 cents a gallon tax at the state level. We pay 18.5 cents a gallon tax at the federal level. It's a pretty stiff ticket. And we're talking about wanting to take that to a higher level when gas may be at $4 or $5 a gallon this summer. I'm not going to support it. Lastly, I wanted to touch on transparency and ethics. We did just do redistricting. I think the process was tainted quite a bit. For this reason, we had a 5-member commission, Speaker served on it, President of the Senate served on it. The governor's appointment secretary led it, and there was a Republican on there, and there was another gentleman on there, and that other gentleman was recently indicted for tax evasion, $4 million worth. Didn't pay his FICA taxes, didn't pay taxes, and then turned around and became a major donor to the Democrat Party in the state. Governor O'Malley's returning his contributions, Lieutenant Governor Brown's returning his contributions, Elijah Cummings returning his contributions. That's fine, that's fine. He gave a lot of money to a lot of politicians, but really it was stolen money. It was tax money that was taken from the taxpayers, if you think about it, if all money is fungible. And that makes the whole redistricting process suspect, I believe, and we ought to look at turning it over to non-politicals. And I've never been a fan of that, but after watching what I watched this year, we ought to get it out of the hands of people who benefit from it directly and the nature of politicians selecting their voters. Put it in an independent agency and let the non-political folks deal with that.